Got some real talent up there today.
Absolutely, yeah. It's my first opportunity to sort of see this event, but amazing calibre of different young men coming through the game. So, as I said in there, the future looks very bright if this is what's coming through.
What could be the future for some of them?
Oh, look, there's a multitude of talent, but I think what you saw in there is that we place a very high importance of what they do on the field as well as what they do off the field. So, education and study and apprenticeships are all part of this, and I think that's what holds it in such good stead, because these are not just young footballers, they're young men.
Do you think that this sort of initiative will help to sort of, address some of the future behavioural issues, maybe some of them with the off-field, controversies, which tend to sometimes do mar the reputation of the game?
Yeah, and look, I can talk from some experience there, having worked inside a club for 6 years. The club that I was at spent a lot of time on the kids coming through, ensuring that the accountability and the policies that were in place at that club actually reflected from the junior part right through to their senior football. So I think that does have an impact. It's not to say we won't have issues from time to time, but it does place a significant part of it.
Now, Todd, do you have any comment on the scheduling issues raised this year?
In general, as
Yeah.
Oh, look, I think we're in the first year of a fixed draw. I think you've got to remember that a fixed draw was something that everybody wanted, particularly the fans, the members and the clubs. And I think by and large it's been well received. It's not to say that we've got it perfect this year. So the scheduling, it will always be a difficulty, particularly in the origin period when you take 34 players out to play the 3 biggest matches of the year. So it's not easy.
Talking about it in a television sense and which games get televised, is there any issues?
Oh, look, there'll always be ways we can try to make it better. I've already sat down with Fox Sports and Channel 9 and we're reviewing that right now. So I have no doubt that we can find the best games for them, for their product. But as I say, it's not a perfect science, because there are some teams that are not in the 8 that some people may have thought, and vice versa. So that's what makes the competition so uneven and so good to watch.
Well, we've got a game coming up being televised. I think that they're the 14th and 15th rank. Obviously not many people are going to go, especially on a Monday night. Where do you see the future of televised scheduling?
Oh, look, I think what it is you want the best product in the best time slots. But again, that's as I say, it's not an exact science, because sometimes teams will have form issues, they'll have injuries. But all of those games still rate. It's a matter of making sure we rate the highest. So again, working closely with the broadcasters to make sure we deliver. That's the most important thing.
Todd, the side of investigations gathering pace down in Melbourne. Cronulla had a good win last night. I suppose if they always get to the grand final, would that be a difficult situation for you?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think we've made it very clear from the outset. Dave Smith's spoken on this, and now I'll respond and say the same thing, that it's a serious issue, one we've taken seriously, but what we've said is we'll allow Asada to investigate and complete that investigation, and my understanding that's still some time away, so it's really important we don't prejudge it and we wait for the facts, and when we've got facts we'll deal with it.
Any comment on, from players wanting to leave their contracts? Any comment on the financial, fines that's in the paper today?
Oh, look, I read that, and look, there's a 4-month review of the salary cap currently in place, of which I'm sitting on. Jim Doyle's heading that up, and that'll be a really important issue for us. What we've said is try to modernise the salary cap. I think you've got to understand the salary cap's one of the great reasons why the competition's so even. That's not to say that we can't make it slightly better and tinker with it. So we're going to review the whole thing. We're going to compare it to some models overseas and see if we've got the best model, see if it's working and the application of that's the best that we currently have for the NRL. Things like transfer payments, those sorts of things will all form part of that review. I wouldn't rule it out, nor would I rule it in.
Back to this side again, sorry. Have they given you any idea when it's likely to come in?
Look, I don't have a time frame on it. All I know is that those interviews were taking place. I understand there'll be some more interviews, but I just don't have a time frame on it. I can't place a time frame on it. We're sort of in the hands of Asada, and we're led by that information. As I said, we'll await that information, and when we've got it, then we'll deal with it.
It looks like that move you take up has been kind of vindicated in terms of sitting back and waiting for things to happen with the AFL, and isn't there each other's throats down there?
Oh, look, obviously we're watching what's happening in Melbourne with interest, but we've made it clear on our process, and I think Dave Smith should be congratulated for that from the outset by doing that, and we'll just allow it to take its course. I don't think we can continue to comment on it much further than that, and nor should we prejudge the content. So I think we just have to be patient. I know people want a result, but it's important we get the right result.
How have you found going from Buckland to NRL land?
Yeah, I've enjoyed my first 3 weeks. It's been wonderful to get around to other clubs. I mean, having 6 years inside the Bulldogs Football Club has given me some great insights. So I hope I can bring some of that in here into NRL. it's obviously a code that's on the way up. Our collective challenge is to make sure we realise that ambition and make sure we can achieve all the targets we set ourselves, which I'm sure we can.